Hi, I'm Mike Harland, LifeWay Worship, and I'm here with my great friend and colleague, Keith Getty. Keith, welcome back. We're thrilled to have you guys at LifeWay today.
It is fantastic to have been here even from 5:45 this morning.
Yes, if you're watching this, you need to know LifeWay, we have chapel services on a regular basis, and our chapels usually start at 7:30 a.m., which means the musicians get here at...
Well, I think we're 5:45, 6. So
5:45 and 6. And as you can tell, Keith is ready to go to sleep right now.
Yes, so, it's not a big thing in the Irish music tradition to be up that early in the morning.
No, it's not. Unless you've been up all night. So anyway, and today...
Certainly to begin a day.
Today, Keith, you've been such a friend to us. I mean, when you know that when we were developing a new hymnal, and the website, lifewayworship.com, that goes along with congregational resources, your songs begin to bubble up. And I think, if I remember right, the hardbound hymnal has 9 Keith Getty tunes and things you'd written with Stuart and other things. And you've been such a contributor to the modern hymn and the modern song. But today at LifeWay wasn't about just modern hymns. You were here to do a Christmas concert.
Yeah, it was great. And we, I guess modern carols are just a variation of modern hymns. It's trying to write modern hymns for the Christmas season. And so we've been starting to do that. And then what was birthed here in Nashville 2 years ago, when one of the churches you know well, Judson Baptist, asked us to do a Christmas event, and I said yes before I thought about it, and then I realized I had to get some Christmas songs. So that began an idea about putting Christmas things together. And I think as a writer, it intrigued me to try and create in the Christmas genre, because I've always loved carols, and so at that level it interested me. But also as a Christian and a worship leader and somebody involved in church life today, Christmas is a season where we have a unique opportunity to open to the whole of society. So it's, in some ways it remains the same for us as worship leaders, but it is a whole new opportunity that we each have for like 5 weeks a year. So.
Yeah. Well, you told us, you gave us some teaching this morning, very interesting, about the difference between the hymns back in the UK and in England, when the hymns were being forbidden to be sung, and what the carols became. That was interesting. Would you share that?
Well, hymns and carols, by strict definition in historical church music in England, hymns were songs about God. They were creedal, they were didactic, they had a certain form. Carols were the story songs. So that was actually the difference. Obviously, when Wesley and Watts came, they began to use the story form a lot more in popular hymnody. And story songs have always been part of popular hymnody, but carols were stories. And I think specifically in Britain, when there was pre-Reformation, when there was no even singing in the English language, carols represented the only place where they were actually sung.
Wow.
And in the same way as when the Puritans banned instrumental music, and a lot of what went along with that, carols maintained that joviality and that joy. And so as somebody who has at least some tie to Irish folk music, the idea of recreating old carols that told a story with spontaneous ancient instruments, with fun, to me was just this is too good an opportunity to miss, and to reinvent the story again, or to go about the story through new lenses, and bring together all the musicians. So it's been a project which began in my mind 25 years ago, and it's actually finally come to fruition in the last month.
So carols, in the historical sense, were the songs of the rebels.
Yeah, oftentimes they were.
And so it's very fitting that you would be doing carols now.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Now, since the last time you and I talked, something really, really big happened in Keith and Kristen Getty's life. You have a new background singer, I understand.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
And that was the other component part which made a Christmas thing too hard to resist. We were gifted with a daughter this year, Eliza Joy, who is 8 months old today.
Today?
So you can wish her 8 months, happy 8 months today. And this was her first time actually sitting in one of our concerts this morning at the chapel. And she joined in backing vocals and
she did.
The songs with Chris. And she waited until we had exposed quiet moments, and then she chose those to test her tonsils.
Exactly.
So that was good. But it's been a really wonderful. It's been a hard journey for us because we wanted a child for many years. At one point we thought we couldn't have one, and then about 18 months ago we came off the road for 6 months initially, and moved down to Nashville so we could at least continue to have some kind of reasonable contact with Christian music and churches and what was happening, without having so much travel to do, and then of course we were gifted with Eliza.
That's awesome.
So we've been able to, although touring is a much smaller part of our lives now and a much more restricted part of our lives, it's just been incredible. And so to look again, it's been said a million times, but to look at the Christmas story through the eyes of being a first-time parent is a unique thing. And Eliza Joy did inspire the title, Joy in Irish Christmas. That's
That's awesome.
So. And each night the show finishes, when we do the concert tour, each night it finishes with Joy to the World and a piece called Miss Eliza's Real. So it's Miss Eliza's Real and Joy to the World finished. So
that's
kind of
awesome.
fun. So we're still a little bit enamored. So
she's a beautiful girl, and it was real special to meet her today. Now I've already heard one touring story about her. I don't know if
she is a wild child.
She's a wild child.
She's got a boyfriend.
She's 8 months old and she has a boyfriend.
She has Simon Clemmy, our fiddle player, who some of you will know, our fiddle player, the blonde-haired girl called Deborah, who's Kristen's good friend. She brings her little son on the road, and he's a year and a half, and so they've been hanging out together, and I'm really struggling. I feel like I'm losing her already.
You're already losing
her.
They grow up, those little girls grow up and they break your heart. But I just want to tell you that. I have one of those now that's 21, so yeah. I hear you. Well, so the Christmas Carol and the tour that's coming up, and you're going to be in several churches, including my church, Brentwood Baptist Church, in about a week and a half. So
I think, what is it about you, Mike? You're getting the 2 pre-performances.
I'm following you.
We're doing 2 pre-performances.
You need to give me a solo in the concert.
It isn't supposed to start until the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and I've got talked into these 2 pre-performances. I was wondering who's pulling on these strings.
It's me. It's me.
Who is the who's the Svengali? Who is the Svengali?
Yes.
Now I know who it is.
Now you know who it is. It's all things LifeWay Worship.
LifeWay Worship can make anything happen. They can make anything happen.
Keith, we love you guys, and we appreciate you so much in what you're contributing to the modern song of faith. We still sing the great Watts and Wesley hymns, and they were written so long ago. And I've asked myself, or been asking myself for years, who's going to write the songs that the church will sing hundreds of years from now, if the Lord tarries? And I'm convinced that one of those prolific teams is Keith and Kristen Getty, that are writing songs that not only the church will sing today, but will sing long after you and I are gone, and for His glory. And we really appreciate the contribution you're making. So thank you for dropping by today, and we appreciate all you do. And best wishes on your Christmas tour with Eliza and Kristen.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks.